guys and girls. So today we are going to look at standards 6LS1-1 along with 6LS1-2. We are looking at our life science priority standards review for the lesson plant and animal cells. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, well, we've already talked about plant and animal cells, Ms. Ketcher, and that's true. However, with ATLAS summative testing coming up, I wanted us to take a close look at some of these priority standards that we've talked about, and then dive a little bit deeper into them, and also just brings a refresher back to your mind so that you guys are ready to hit the ground rolling when your state summative science test comes available. So today's standards, we are going to be able to the standard is 6LS1-1, conduct an investigation to provide evidence that living things are made of cells, either one cell or many different numbers and types of cells. And then our other standard that we'll be focusing on is 6LS1-2, which is to develop and use a model to describe the function of a cell as a whole and ways parts of cells contribute to the function. So we will be able to, once we're done with the lesson, we'll be able to conduct an investigation to provide evidence that living things are made of cells, develop and use a model to describe the function of a cell as a whole and the ways parts of the cells contribute to its functions. Okay, and so what we're going to do, guys, is we are going to get started with our lesson. The plan for today was that we would complete page 3 together, and then you guys would be able to work either independently or with a group for pages 4 and 5. Then you are going to be allowed to choose one page between pages 6 and 9 to complete either by yourself or with your group. And then everyone would complete page 10 by yourself for your assessment. So what this means today, because we're having to do this outside of class now, you guys will follow along with me as we complete page 3 together. And then when we come back for our next live class session, we will pick up here and complete pages 4 and 5 together. So don't feel like you have to do any further work other than follow along with this video and complete the class kick on page 3 as we go through today. So the first thing is we're going to watch a short video here to just do a refresher on some of our background knowledge. So let's watch this short video.
Every living organism is made up of cells, from plants to the lowliest worm to the most complex human being. But what is a cell? Well, a cell is a small, self-contained unit within a whole organism. Kind of like a room within a house. It is the smallest unit that can be classified as a living thing. We can think of them as the building blocks of life. So how many cells do you think you have in your body? 1,000? 1,000,000? 1,000,000,000? More. We contain around 50 trillion cells. Have a look at your little finger. There's probably about 10 billion cells in there. Now, cells come in all different shapes and sizes. Occasionally, cells can be large enough to be seen by the human eye. For example, the yolk of a chicken egg is actually a single cell, and some cells are really long, such as a nerve cell that runs the entire length of your spine. However, most cells are really, really tiny and can only be seen under a microscope. They are so tiny that you could fit about 10 of them across one of your hairs. Now, there are many different types of cells, and each cell carries out its own jobs. Some of these jobs are common to all cells, such as making proteins and producing energy, while some jobs are specific to the type of cell. A human sperm cell has to be able to swim, while the cells that produce a peacock's tail must produce beautiful coloured pigments. Sometimes cells can exist on their own, such as a simple bacterium or a single-celled organism called an amoeba. But mostly, cells work together to form more complex multicellular organisms, such as animals, plants, and insects. In a multicellular organism, as well as doing its own jobs, each cell also works together with the other cells around it to carry out an overall job. For example, the cells of the heart work together to pump blood around your body. So, cells come in all shapes and forms and have all sorts of jobs, but they are all fundamental building blocks of living organisms. Watch this video to learn more about different types of cells.
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up.
Oops. Okay, so now that we watched that, we should be able to take a look at today's question to answer, which is how are plant and animal cells different and how are they alike? So the first thing is we want to explain what a cell is, okay? So there's a few different ways that you could explain this. You could simply say that cells are the building blocks of life. Okay. You could say that they are small, well, we'll say the smallest, if I can type, smallest unit of life in an organism. You can even say that every living thing is made up of cells, okay? So you can say any of those things or you can say all of those things and that would be fine, okay? So the next thing it asks us, what cells can we see? So there are a couple that we can see, and as the video explained, we can actually see a chicken egg, which is a cell, or we can even see a nerve cell that runs through the spine, okay? So those are a couple of examples of what cells that we can see. So chicken egg would be one, and then a nerve cell would also be one that you could see, okay? So make sure you guys write this down or type this into your own personal ClassKick because we will be using this for our next lesson together. All right, so then what are some of the jobs of a cell? Okay, so you have different ways of explaining this, okay? So there's multiple ways, but a few of the jobs we could talk about would be that they make proteins. They make proteins for us. Oops. Another thing you might say is that they produce energy for us, okay? And anything else that you can think of about the jobs of a cell, please feel free. You can list them on your own ClassKick. Let me fix this up here. I just saw a typo. Okay, you can list jobs of a cell on your own. You can do these, and then you can add some if you would like to. That would be perfectly fine. Okay, so the next part of this says, give an example of how cells work together. Okay, so a couple of examples could be that different cells work together to make up the human heart and to pump blood through the body, okay? That would be a really good example. So that's the one that I'll use. You can use this one as well, or you can use another one, okay? So we'll say different cells work together to make up the human heart, which is an organ made up by cells, tissue, that turns into the organ, heart. Okay, make up the human heart and pump blood through oops, look at me, I cannot talk today, through the body. Okay, so that's just an example there, okay? So this is what I wanted you guys to go over to get. We were going to do this together in class, but since we're having these tech issues, you'll just watch this here. When we resume in class, you guys will work either individually or as a group to complete page 4 and page 5. Just a heads up, the video is the same video on page 4 as it is on page 5, okay? I just wanted you to have access to it because it goes over all of this information. After you have completed those 2 pages, we then will have the option. You'll choose one of the following. From page 6, you can choose this one. You can choose to complete page 7, plant versus animal cells. You can choose to complete page 8, or you can choose to complete page 9. You only have to do one of the slides between 6 through 9. Then when you get to slide 10, you are going to answer this, okay? And you're going to select your answer here. This will give you automatic credit if you're correct or let you know if you are incorrect. So we'll do this one as well. And then slide 11 is just completely optional. If you would like to do a crossword, then here is a cell word search for you. Okay, so we will complete this, like I said, together in class. Make sure that you have slide 3 completed and that you are ready to rock and roll for our next class session. Thank you guys. Love you. Have the best day ever. I'll see you soon.